Labdien visiem, kas šobrīd šeit atrodas Sarunu festivālā LAMPA, kas jau 10 gadus norisinās glaznējās Cēsīs. Kā arī labdien visiem, kas šobrīd mūs skatās tiešraidē, vai arī raidierakstā caur dažādām ierīcēm, kas jums ir pieejamas. Mēs priecājamies, ka šodienas saruna, es teiktu, ir kuplā skaitā. Droši var arī tie cilvēki, kas ir tālāk, ja lietas uzlīst un satelīts rāda, ka ir brīži, kuros var parādīties lietas, nāciet, ieņemiet vietas, kas ir ērtākas šeit pie krēsliem zem telts, un mēs sāksim arī šo te diskusiju. Bet pirms mēs atklājam pašu pasākumu, vēlos pateikt 2 informatīvas ziņas. Viena no tām ir tāda, ka šodien mums ir pievienojušies arī starptautiski viesi, un, lai nodrošinātu produktīvu šīs dienas sarunu, tā notiks angļu valodā, lai katrs no diskusijas dalībniekiem varētu pilnībā iesaistīties šajā diskusijā. Bet, ja kādam no klātesošajiem ir nepieciešams sarunas tulkošana uz latviešu valodu, tad Kosmosa izziņas centra komanda nāks tālāk un nodrošinās jums tiešo tulkojumu sarunas laikā. Lūgums šobrīd paceliet rokas, lai mēs varam ieraudzīt, kuriem tas būtu nepieciešams, un tad attiecīgi mēs arī pie jums pienāksim un palīdzēsim ar to. Tātad mēs redzam šeit arī cilvēku, kam vajadzētu palīdzību. Varbūt ir vēl kāds, kuram nepieciešama šāda te lieta. Mēs iekārtosimies tuvāk un mēģināsim arī diskusijas laikā šo te tulkojumu jums iedot uz vietas. Otrs, diskusijas laikā ir iespējams uzdot arī jautājumus. Tiem, kas sako mums tiešraidē, jūs noteikti redzat arī savos ekranos slīdo kodu, kur ievadot, jūs varēsiet uz diskusijas laiku uzdot šos te jautājumus, kā arī tepat uz vietas tie cilvēki, kuri redz, pievienoties šai te slīdo funkcijai, izmantot savu viedierīci, un tad varēsiet arī uzrakstīt jautājumu. Centīšos uz visiem viņiem arī rast atbildi, pateicoties mūsu diskusijas dalībniekiem. Visi gatavi arī pie ekrāniem. Paldies. Tad es arī pāriešu uz angļu valodu. First things first. Today's talk is possible thanks to the support of Embassy of Italy in Riga and its preview of their Italy is Young initiative. Italy is Young is a series of 10 conversation events that will take place from September to December 2024, organized by Embassy of Italy in partnership with some of the main Latvian culture institutions and festivals that we will have this year. Each conversation will feature 2 young professionals, both younger than 35, one Italian and one Latvian, active in the same field. The purpose of the project is fostering the dialogue between the youth communities of the 2 countries by highlighting the common challenges and experiences. And today's talk is a special preview of this project. For more information, you can visit the website and social medias of the Embassy of Italy in Riga, and the full program of Italy is Young will be announced at the end of July. My name is Miks Denis, and I am the head of Space Education Center, where our main goal is to spark children's interest in STEM field and foster the desire to pursue a future in it. And I will be also the host of this conversation for today. So right now, I will introduce you to all the participants that we have in this discussion. First one is Antonietta Conte, the expert for space research and innovation and advisor of UFOs at Intesa San Paolo. Hello, Antonietta.
Hello, everyone.
I will take the lead for Alexei Sklokovs, director of Institute of Aeronautics, Space Engineering and Transport at Riga Technical University.
Hello.
Angelina Bekasova, senior expert for space and innovation policy at Ministry of Economics.
Hello, everyone.
Dainis Jakovels, PhD in physics and leading researcher at Institute for Environmental Solutions.
Hello.
And Yekaterina Kuzmina is the board member at 2AM Company, which involves the development of innovative technologies for 3D printing and high-performance lightweight metal materials.
Hello, happy to be here.
So the talk about this theme is how Latvia can become a significant player in the global space industry sector. And I will try to go through all of the questions that we can talk about if really Latvia can be a giant in space industry. So the first question for all of you guys is that what are the key steps that Latvia should take to become the significant player in the space industry? And I think we will start with Ministry of Economy.
Thank you very much for the question, starting with me. So here's my maths. I would say that we have to continue doing what we do, and of course do it better. Because if you think, you don't have to be, not you, someone or something doesn't have to be too big to be a very big problem, so which means you don't have to be too big to be a solution. And Latvia is part of many international, not many, but several space missions. I represent Latvia in the European Space Agency's Council. And more often than not, we get compliments for our role in space. And this is our success story, because when we were just 2 years in the associate membership of the European Space Agency, we got accepted to a large international space mission, and then the second one. Our neighbors, for example, don't have the success stories. So this year in October, a Latvian company, Eventech, is flying on the space mission to deliver their contribution to the mission HERA. The HERA mission will protect the Earth from asteroids. The idea is to try to change the trajectory of the asteroid. So 4 years ago, the American mission DART hit one asteroid, and now in this autumn we are flying to really research what was the impact. Eventech can measure time super precisely, and it was a unique competency. That's why we were invited here. Without this competency, the mission maybe wouldn't happen, or maybe they had a different participant not putting Latvian name on the map. We are part of the Lunar Gateway, the space mission. We have the largest radio telescope in the north. We provide niche solutions, but that are quite unique here. The problem is that not many people know about this impact. So that's why I say we have to continue and we have to talk more about this. So here the role of science communication is crucial. We have to improve it here. And some fact that actually it's not publicly known, it's something new. So the Central Statistical Bureau of Latvia recently conducted a study about the size of the Latvian space economy. And in fact, so everything is relative, our space economy is less than 10 times smaller than the US space company. And you know how much the United States invest in space. And with our very small budget, we actually have quite an impact. So for a small country, we have quite an impact. And just we need to continue.
Thank you. What else can we add to this first question? Maybe Alexei can provide some information from your perspective from Technical University.
From my perspective, it is important to use our resources. So in Latvia, we have only clever people, we have brains, so we need to use that. We need to develop studies and collaboration between scientists, between industry, between politicians, ministries and others. And very important also to talk about commitment and about communication. So 3C, collaboration, commitment and communication. It's very important to communicate and to collaborate on ambitious goals and to develop our resources inside Latvia. We don't have gold and other resources, we have brains. We need to put on that.
Thank you. We're seeing that from educational perspective, there are many bright students that we can involve in the space industry. But right now, some of those great students are also in industry and also in the science field. So maybe elaborate from your perspective, Ekaterina, how you can talk about from your company perspective what you're doing right now and what steps we need to go further.
First, I would say not from a company perspective, but from the people, from Latvians. First, we need to believe that we can do, and that with small steps we can achieve big. This is the most important, that we need to believe and go for it, because there is opportunity, there is possibilities, and this is very great. And as to board member, we can see it. For example, now we are starting a project with the European Space Agency, very open, very helpful, and it's a great experience. And I think, of course, we need more projects and support from such organization, and should be more open, more published. So like other companies are like kind of afraid to go to the space because they're thinking maybe it's not for them, but I think slowly they start to understand it, and I think we need to deliver this, that this possibility is for many, and in space there is a lot of possibilities. It's not only rockets or something specific what we imagine, but it's all the things, like even food we need in the space. And there is a huge missions, Artemis, and in Luxembourg there is center build center for Europe. Now they want to be main center in space. So there is this big opportunity for Latvia and for in Europe as well.
Mm-hmm. Daini?
Okay, I will try to add something what hasn't been said. And today we had a talk with Angelina, like in Cosmos Center. We know each other for a while, and she always say me like, okay, what we can do for new satellite mission for Latvia and so on. She's like the one who is like really optimistic about like Latvian potential in space and how we can use it and so on. But today she was like more like as a representative for economical ministry and so on. And she always says that I'm the skeptical one, because I have been in this field for a while and I know what's possible and what's not. But after this talk, I just thought that okay, I'm the skeptical one because I have been there for a while. I have my like kind of knowledge about possibilities and kind of something what I know what can be done. But I think that when we think about what's about the space, what possibilities it opens, and how the others have achieved something in space, it always has started about like to start to think about something big, what hasn't been done before, and so on. Taking challenges which sounds like really crazy in beginning, but you achieve it and so on. I think that this is one of the points what you can take in mind. This is the kind of sector where you can try different like crazy things about something to do something the first one and so on, and don't be afraid to think big. And okay, when we are coming to like realistic part and so on, then I think that we shouldn't think about Latvia about as a space giant and so on in the future, but I would try to focus in from different perspective. We Latvia as a part of European Union, and as a small country, let's be realistic. We will not be the space giant and so on. We can take some niches, what already Angelina have mentioned and so on, but we will not be the ones who will build rockets, send people to the moon and so on. It takes quite a lot of money, investment and so on, but we are part of European Union, one of the largest players, the dominant ones and so on. And we have access to their knowledge, to the technologies, to the market and so on. We are the part of it. And we can fill some kind of specific niche where we are good ones. Currently, I'm quite surprised how many new companies have appeared here in Latvia, starting to work in space technology, like in different spheres. I have been in this sector like for 10 years and so on. And I usually thought that, okay, this is the only like we have reached our potential now, but then you see like new examples, like also 2AM and so on. You are also like relatively new in this area, and I believe that there will be newcomers and so on, and that's why I want to encourage that someone who think that okay, I'm doing something and so on, but it's not for space, just think twice, because everything could be applied to space. Not everything, but you can try to think how it could be applied, because space it's quite tough environment and so on, where to test something and so on, and also when we look at the space, it's not about sending something to the moon, But during the process, there is possibility to test something or develop something that can be used here on the ground, like in really tough environment and so on. It provides us like a lot of opportunities, and as we are part of European Union, European Space Agency, as an associated member now, I think we have like great opportunity to use these all possibilities to be part of different missions and so on. And I would encourage you just to try and look what are the possibilities here are.
Antonieta, for your perspective, you heard some Latvian industry questions and scientists from industry and also from university perspective and economy as ministry. What you can add to that?
Yeah, so I had several discussions over the past days, but with the universities and companies. So I think everything starts from the university. So when students go to the university and they attend their bachelor and then the master and then they get to the PhD. So first of all, I think it will be very important to have kind of a specialization in the space sector, so to give that background to students, but that's just the beginning. So we are going toward the commercialization of the space sector, and a lot of initiatives in Europe are starting. So the European Space Agency now is acting as an anchor customer for companies in the European sector, and these will go to attract investors. So starting from the university, you have the specialization in the space sector, and also like if you start a PhD program also in the space sector, people get expertise in that field. At this stage, I think it's very important to have within the university some incubators or accelerator, for example, for the company around. And this kind of incubator can act as a way for the student to bring their project to the market. So to build a business model around this project and then move forward and get to the stage where the TRL is high, and then you can have other instrument, for example, other European instrument, like the instrument from the European Innovation Council or the instrument from the European Space Agency. And we have discussed also with the minister about having like a support coming from an office with the consultant that can support the company to submit their proposal to the European Innovation Council. Because as per today, like I am working at Intesa San Paolo, and in my office we are providing this service because I work with the other experts that I have worked as evaluators for the European Commission, and like Angelina knows that the success rate is very low for this kind of proposal. So there's something that can be done to support entrepreneurs in the space sector. And also, I mean, sponsoring the companies also abroad to attract investors, because like now we have also investors that are just focused on the space sector, so that can be very helpful.
Right now, are we doing something in that field to fostering these companies? Can you say something about that?
To foster what companies? To help them participate in such opportunities.
Yep.
Yes, when we talk about the European Space Agency, we have an industrial coordinator who just will take you by hand and will help you understand the labyrinths of the European Space Agency and help you prepare the proposal. This format functions very well, so some countries are copying Latvia. Talking about Horizon Europe, indeed, it's quite a challenge to just write the project nicely. You can have a great idea, but it's the matter of science communication actually to write a nice proposal that will look very convincing to others. Right now the government is talking about such support mechanisms to really help companies sponsor such consultants, because it's not an easy job, so you can imagine how much it costs. There are talks, we know about the need, and right now we're in the new economic period, so now we have new, and we will have even more new business support mechanisms. So some of them will help our participation in such opportunities. Talking about investors, we have the Investment and Development Agency of Latvia. Their job is to help our businesses attract investors. We have a really large network of foreign representations of Latvia not as embassies, but like practical representations that actually can help stimulate this contact between Latvians and foreigners, to help you find investors and to sustain this contact with them. These opportunities need to be used, because right now these people are chasing Latvian companies to really asking them, do you need help? But this is a very important resource that we all should use, and cool things are available. We just have to create this demand even more.
Is it really happening yet? Yekaterina, did you have for your company some kind of consultation, or what kind of issues did you have happen when you're making your company?
Yeah, actually, it's true. Of course, it's always we want more, but it's happening. It's true. You probably mentioned about Davids. He is for ESA. He supports a lot, and even yesterday we had few questions. We called him, and he was helping us a lot. So it's true, and there is opportunities. There is another ESA like seminars where you can learn how to do it like in the best way. So it's true. It's happening. I think it's these years like it start to happen. Maybe like I don't know, 10 years ago it was not, but now it is, and we hope it will be more and more. And also, for example, we went to Hello Tomorrow in Paris. Leah also supported us partially, and even in before also there's some trips also, and we presented Latvia and also ourselves as a startup. So it is there is opportunities. It's true.
And your fundings, Daini, can you add something? If you had some kind of collaboration or consultings when you are going to get some funding for your researchers?
There are quite a lot of opportunities to get funding for your ideas. Of course, you should invest in like researching, like if its idea is reliable and so on. But there are a lot of opportunities as we are a participant, like as we are a member of, associated member of European Space Agency. Actually, currently there is a call open for different kind of activities, and you always can get support from national representatives, also from ESA. And what's also good, when you are the member of European Space Agency, you can access also expertise. Basically, you can go to the headquarters and so on. Maybe not the headquarters, but some kind of related, how it's called, like meetings or facilities somewhere and so on, and meet experts and discuss your idea. Basically, you're not alone like with your idea. You can get a feedback directly from ESA, how reliable it is, and for example, and they can pinpoint you like where are these unique aspects on what you should elaborate, or for example, they can quickly say that, oh no, we have done it like for years and just it's nothing innovative. You can get a quick feedback on your idea from ESA.
May I add something? You actually asked the right people about this, because the Institute for Environmental Solutions is considered a company with the highest quality of their proposals in ESA. Whereas 2AM, usually you say like there is an opportunity, and they're like, yes, we're here. So they always use the opportunities. We really appreciate that, and they use it very successfully. But great answers. I like that.
Thank you.
What are the most of the criteria that they need to go through to get the fundings from these kind of researchers, and for companies to build their own ideas to put man on moon, or making some kind of different issues in the future? What are the criteria, what they need to go through to find this funding?
Okay, so I tell you, like the funding dedicated to the space sector come, of course, as they said, from the European Space Agency, but they also come from the European Innovation Council. As I mentioned before, there are some programs coming from EUSPA. Most of the case, all the programs, grants, or activities are related to the TRL of the project. So if I think about the European Innovation Council, we have the Pathfinder, then we have the transition, and then we have the accelerator. So in the Pathfinder phase, you have a low TRL. So it helps you like bring your TRL at a stage where you can transition and make your company, and then you get to the startup point of small to medium enterprise, where your TRL is kind of 5, 6, and it will help you get to the TRL 8. So along this process, like you have an evaluation going on, and as per today, like I find myself working as an evaluator for the European Commission for this program. So I can tell you that everything starts with a short proposal. So you have to submit a short proposal, and there are a lot of criteria that are evaluated in the proposal, and of course the technology has to be disruptive, but also the entrepreneur has to show his vision, his ambition, and how he wants to change the environment around it in some way. And if the business model is sustainable, is strong, you know. So that's what happened at the beginning. So you submit this short proposal, and then you are evaluated. If you pass the first stage, then you get to the full proposal. So you have to submit the entire documentation, and in the end you have an interview. So if you pass the last phase, then you get your grant, and it can be a mix of grant and equity in that case. But most of the case, it can happen that company do not pass this stage, but still they get feedback from experts. So, for example, they get feedback like that their proposal is, their product is not so different from what they have seen in the market. So to differentiate it more, and then get back to them and try again. So of course these are all the options at the European level, and I think you know, like your company know very well the grant for the European Commission. Like today, I had a conversation with Alaterm, and we discussed a lot about this option of the European Innovation Council, because it's very difficult to get, and I think is a very, very, very good option for companies. Then, of course, I know that you have some national grants, some national programs, and all the European countries have that. So that's a good way to support them.
About students, is there any students who right now are trying to go in the space industry, and how you can talk from technical university perspective, how to inspire them to go in this big industry that we're talking about?
Let me say that we already have special courses within our university, but we want to develop, we want to make new courses, special courses, together also with industry partners. And you already mentioned about their inspiring. So we have in Latvia, we have a lack of those leaders who can inspire and attract young generation. So we can develop also communication with society. We can make more information, knowledge transfer to the young generation. And also we talked in the beginning about projects and about ideas and goals. I talked also with young guys. They really want to see ambitious goals in Latvia, to go for that project. So we need leaders, researchers, lecturers within our university. We need ambitious ideas, projects, maybe in governmental level, maybe further in European level. And also we need to motivate. So it's really needed to motivate the young generation, because they have a lot of opportunities in IT, for example, and in other sectors. So we need to motivate with funding, with other things, who knows. And it's very important to also to get new competencies. So we talked also a lot about collaboration with other countries. So we need to get professors, researchers, industry players, as we've done before, to get new knowledge, new technologies, because we're quite small regarding if we are comparing with others, but we can be on that project. We can get some small pieces of our involvement in our technologies, and I guess that if we will develop that, if we'll share this, we will get more young people. And of course, I need to say about our infrastructure, because I was working a lot with that we need to also to show, or let me say, we need to create the good environment for researchers, for students. I'm talking about laboratories, about other facilities in good condition and good level, to make those technologies, research, your ideas. We already saw the Space Education Center, so it's quite new, but we should stay on innovation side to compete with industry and with other entities. This is my short.
Can I add something about inspiration? I think our like exact answer what is to inspire people is to go to conferences, exhibitions relevant to the area. For example, a few months ago I was in Luxembourg for Space Research Week, and there you can see there is a lot of opportunities, a lot of people already doing many things, real things, and you're coming here and you see, oh, it's real, you can do, and until now I'm inspired, and I believe more that is possible, that is real people who can do it, so they can do, we also can do. This is from perspective of university would be perfect if support more to send students to this kind of conferences and exhibitions, not only scientific but also maybe business, because there you're even more inspired, and this is, I think, is very good solution and helpful.
Exactly, we should show our success stories. We should share this experience to others.
There is one thing about inspiration. We do it a lot, but the problem of young people is the thing they are inspired. Space in school, so I assume everyone would like to be part of space. But then they ask you, so what can I do? I'm inspired, I study STEM or whatever. And then it's not that they have a queue of those who would like to support them. Everyone is also like, I don't know how smart you are or something. We don't give opportunities to those students. I joined space maybe 8 years ago. I didn't have any space background. For me, I was one of those people who are like, oh, space, when are we flying to space? And then I was given a random opportunity, would you like to be part of the space program? For me, I thought it's a joke, but I just like, okay, yeah, I would like to be part of it, of the European Commission. So it wasn't a joke. So I started my space, but I was given this opportunity. However, they knew I don't know anything about space. And here I would like to also inspire those who can provide jobs, trust in these young people, and try to give them these opportunities, because kids are actually inspired and they're very motivated. They are lost in their opportunities. They don't know what to start with.
That is one reflection from me when I'm hearing the first things when we are starting to think about space industries in the university. But I could say from Space Education Center perspective, we need to involve more kids to talk about, to inspire them at the first grade in kindergarten to talk about space industry, to go through some kind of workshops and so on. What can you suggest we can do in education system right now to do that, to get more people involved in that? Because I would like to ask Alexei also how many students you have and how many you wanted to have in your institute, in your university, going through that theme, maybe in the future, and what steps we need to do that.
As I said before, we need to work on staff who will work with that student, and we should work also with ideas to attract those students. You mentioned before that it's very important to inspire And if we don't have leaders, we don't have laboratories, infrastructure, and we don't have other opportunities to get that dream job, let me say. So it doesn't matter. We can say we need 30,000 of students. So about facts, in RTU we have now around 15,000 of students. In our Faculty of Civil and Mechanical Engineering, where we are, where we're working with aeronautics and space engineering, we have around 2,000 students. But what we really need to do, we need to establish a new team of researchers, professors, and other staff to get new projects, ambitious projects, and to attract the young generation. Because we, as we talked before, we can attract also students and experts from other fields. We're not talking about mechanical engineering or aerospace. We can attract also people from other faculties and other niches. And that is why it's very important to share this and to prepare ourselves for that flow. And let me comment your what you said before about education centers. So it's very important to start that connection from young people till student and researcher and entrepreneur. So it's very important to show that it's possible, and we need to establish that environment who will support that steps.
Okay. Could you say we need some kind of inspiration about space industry right now? What we are happening right now in Latvia? You were saying there are many companies that are doing that, but maybe Daini, you can say what are the latest achievements in Earth observation technologies and how can they be utilized in Latvia economy?
When we talk about Earth observation, it's about satellites which fly in the orbit and acquire data about the Earth's surface and so on. If you look at the past, the primary use of such satellites has been for spying, yes, of course. And it started from 60s when the first satellites have been launched and so on. And then at the end of the last century, this data was like open for public use. And now Earth observation is used. The application still, I would say, it's the same. It's not spying like for military purposes, but spying for civil applications, different of kind, and this is a primary application of satellites, Earth observation satellites. And what are the current achievements? I would say we are living in so dynamic world. When I would look at like 10 years past, like what kind of data have been available and how it was available, it's like totally different from nowadays. We have much more satellites, better satellites around. And do you know approximately, what's your feeling like how often satellites are acquiring data? Your guess? Every hour? Might be. But just to give some kind of my own answer, I would say that if you look at the overall number of satellites, it's tremendous, and it will grow, only will grow. Like for example, there are freely available satellite data which you can get. Of course there is what means commercial and freely. It's basically freely it stops somewhere in the resolution, what you can separate. But then comes also commercial sector, and actually yes, it's you can get data every day, and not only every day, but maybe sometimes it could be that you can get every hour and so on. It's the opportunities now are the ones which hasn't been before. And even there has been tries to acquire videos and so on. What's usually the problem with the Earth observation and so on, that people make the expectations from movies, from James Bond's movies and so on, and they usually say, okay, take me this satellite, make a video from this, like, or just make a face recognition and so on, which is against the physics laws and so on. There are limitations what you can do from space. But still, like, the opportunities are like huge, like in amount of data, what you can get and how you can use. A lot of data is freely available. Of course, there is like huge commercial sector and it's only growing. And then there is question like where and how you want to apply. And if I'm looking at the how we can benefit in our economics, yes, we always have had this discussion with Angelina about our own satellite mission and so on. Of course, there might be space for national satellite missions for different purposes. But when we are looking at Earth observation, I would primarily focus like on using available data now. And for example, our approach, we are trying to work with like specific end users. We're trying to find like end user, like the one who needs some kind of solution. Then we found, okay, this solution might be addressed using satellite data. And then you'll find it. And usually what's the common for these solutions is that you are doing something where it requires a lot of man effort, like going somewhere, checking something and so on. But satellite data provides you like quick access. Basically, you can get like global coverage like very often, and you could make this monitoring control for different purposes like on regular basis. And we have several examples where we have just helped just some kind of national institutions and so on introduce satellite data in their like daily life, and there is much more potential applications where it could be applied, I would say. It's basically like when we're looking about Earth observation, it's kind of spying for not military purposes, but for public purposes, and the purpose is making things more effective, saving money on something what you are not doing very effectively.
I remember you spied on the Vietnamese rice, right?
It's a secret, yes.
No, it's not. Yekaterina, can you tell me about your company as well? What you are doing?
Yes, we are 2AM. It means not 2AM in the night. It means advanced materials and additive manufacturing. So we are the first main thing what we are doing. We are developing and we have developed new materials for space industry. For people who don't know about much this, maybe thinking is not so like so much necessary for this industry because there is already materials or something, but it's not true because materials always improving, always changing, and material is very, very important. Remember when Leonardo da Vinci created first sketches of his planes and another technology, they were good and they could work, even it's proved now, but at this moment was not available materials. That's why it did not fly. And only after like some time there is discovered this aluminium-based material which was used for the first plane which could really fly. So that's why material is super important. And as today we were in your Cosmos centers, and there was written that like one toilet paper to send to the space, it costs like 356 euro. Imagine just one toilet paper to send to the space costs 356 euro. Is a lot. So that's why it's important to have materials which is lighter, which is also strong enough, because there is no gravity and another difficulties. That's why we have created materials which are lighter with the same criteria or even better. So this saves money and open new opportunities. And also because we are oriented on 3D printing, 3D printing requires new materials. People for last 10 years try to use old materials for 3D printing, but now they really understood that they cannot. Like universities, company, this for sure, because I've been in many conferences and this is confirmed from let's say, all the world. And now they very interested in these materials, and this what we are doing, and this very, very perspective. And in USA, they already printed 3D printed a rocket, and it's already launched into space last year. But here in Europe, we have only goals and a roadmap for it. Of course, we are far, unfortunately, from it, but still we are doing first steps, and we want to be, and we are in this way. And there is for us, that's why we see opportunities, and we are already doing, and also other end users which who we cooperate in, big end users from aerospace, very interested in us, because they understand that it's very important and it's future, because also 3D printing developing in different areas, not only aerospace, for everything. But metal, this is we print metal is more complicated than others. So
when you're hearing these examples, do we have potential to be a space giant from Latvia? What sector, compared to other European countries, we can come up with that would be a sector where we can be faster in the future? What do you think when you're hearing these examples what we have in Latvia?
So I can tell you, like, I have interacted with the Latvian company, and also I had a tour of the labs and facility, and I am very surprised about what I have seen and what they are developing. I see that they are getting a lot of support, like from Europe, European Space Agency, and it's a good sign. It means that they are doing something well already. One company I interacted with, for example, they have already like partner in Italy, so they already are collaborating with some Italian primes. But some other, for example, they are still looking for finding that kind of partners. So I think the space sector is an important sector. So if you think about the past, like most of the technology that we use today, in some way, they come from something that was built for space. So I think it's very important to strengthen the space sector in your country and to move forward in that direction. Also, like fostering collaboration with other country and trying to like bring this commercialization here even more, like starting from the beginning.
More companies that we can tell that these people here in discussion that we can tell them, yeah, we are doing that. That is the thing that we are doing.
In general, about the space sector, we have discussions how big the space sector is, because we have maybe 30, 40 companies cooperating with European Space Agency. Then actually the space sector is much wider, maybe 50, 60 companies. For Latvia, it's a lot. And recently the study showed that we have 88 companies with a role in the space sector. We don't even know about them. And Latvia has a heritage in the space sector. So maybe every month for the 4th year in Latvia, I receive new information about some random activity of a company in space. And I live in this constant surprise, like, and you do and this and that, and then suddenly they work in space. People don't share this information. We indeed have maybe 5 very visible leaders. Some of them are presented here. Some of them are not part of this discussion. But indeed, it's not just 3 companies. I don't know whether you want to know what they do exactly or from which perspective I can answer this, but we have things to be proud of.
And when you're saying that there are so many companies here in space industry, at the first, when we did have this discussion in Facebook that everyone can participate and there will be discussion about that. There was one comment in our discussion before this started, and the comment was, okay, space industry giant, Latvia, really? We need to be more specific, as Dainis was mentioning before that. What is the what is the theme that we can achieve in Latvia? Because we cannot do everything, of course. But maybe you have a suggestion in the future that there's needs some bigger planning to be done to set the goals that this is the theme that we are working on, this is the theme that go through universities, this is the theme where we give fundings for the companies, for the industry and scientists. Do you have some kind of in mind that?
Still, I would have to split it into different industries, but the most potential I see here where we could really position ourselves are precision instruments, because when it comes to really to measure something precisely, not only in space, Latvia usually has success stories, whether it's time or, I don't know, position, because we have these optical gyroscopes that are very unique in the world. Precision instruments in space would be a very good niche sector, which could also develop cooperation among Latvian companies, because if everything should be resistant and lightweight in space, here you have smart materials, of course they would have to be used for such instruments. This thing, then the infrastructure. I assume we have to use and extend our usage of something we already have. So this is very valuable infrastructure, the radio telescopes and other stuff we have, laboratories. Other things that also Dainis mentioned several times, I really would like to have a Latvian or a Baltic satellite. Not just to have a satellite because it's a positioning thing right now in the world. I would like to connect companies through one mission, because when you look at our industry, it's very, very wide, but you can connect everyone through one mission. And here you get, that's how you can define the niche with a high potential. And that's how we can also contribute to the success of other countries. But it'll be the Baltic sector, European, the world, doesn't matter. But I think we can find the answers through connecting the dots. And this is also to the answer about education. By the way, Latvia is one of the first European countries that are developing the human capital strategy right now. We pray for STEM. We need more and more STEM people who study science and everything. But again, I'm for connecting the dots, and I really hope we will find a way to connect humanities, business, and STEM. Because right now we expect scientists to do everything, and commercialization and communication and everything. No, they just have to do science, but they have to cooperate with those who studied business and who studied communication. And here, I think we will find a niche through cooperation.
Yes.
What I wanted to add, like what was mentioned, like we are talking about companies in space and so on. What I should want to pinpoint that those companies which are representing the space sector in Latvia, it's not like companies which are focusing only on space, because I think that for maybe not all, even for all of the companies, space is not the only one focus area. It's just one part of their like technology applications. Most probably the most difficult part, because space is like really non-friendly environment. Basically, the ultimate goal when you want to send something and so on. But what I want to say that I would say that a lot of companies could become a space sector player, and first thing what you should understand, like what is like your competence, core competence, where you are the best one in your field and so on. And there is a lot of opportunities where you can get a feedback, how is this your competence or technology could be applied in space. One of the things, as we are the member of the European Space Agency, you can call our coordinator or even like go directly to ESA and talk with experts. They will help you to understand like if your competence, technology could be applied somewhere in space. On the other hand, there is a lot of space industry days where like large players are coming. And for example, there are like large players as like Airbus, OHB and the others. They're usually just making like B2B meetings just to understanding like new companies working in space or maybe around the space, just gathering what kind of competence they have. And sometimes there are like complex missions where you need such kind of specific competence and they will approach you. So basically what I wanted to just say that we are not when we are talking about space companies, it's not only about space. It's just one part of applications where those companies have found the space as environment they want to like work. they can apply their technologies.
Space is just our new export market. We export here, 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 and now here. Easy.
But how we can attract foreigner investments to Latvia's industry in space? How we can get the funding? What we need to do? Maybe from university perspective, what is the main issues right now? You said you need more laboratories and so on. How we can get that funding to do that?
It's a very difficult question. Thank you. As I said before about ideas, projects, technologies, so the main, maybe the main direction or way how to get those funds or investments is to show that we can implement our ideas till TRL 5, maybe more, that we can involve our students into this development R&D project and the process. And let me say that we need to show the critical mass of experts in our entity, in our university, in our industry. So as businessmen, they have money, they should be sure that we can make a return of those investments, and then we can develop those things. And I think that we should show that we can. If we are talking about the real projects which are going, I mean in industry, in a business side, it's a real good examples because we have several companies which came from universities. It's like spin-off companies or independent companies, and I think that we could share this also for the foreign investors that, hey, we had research institutions before, crazy ideas, and now they're working in lunar missions, in other Earth observation projects, and so on and so on. So this is my opinion.
For you?
For me, I have a feeling that we talk about investments, about any money coming in, right? I have a feeling that we try to develop our competencies and wait for the magic moment when someone notices them and then offers something. We have amazing stuff, but no one knows about them. We don't even know about our neighbors. I mean, like one company works here, doesn't know that they have this competency, that they can join, do something bigger, and so on. We don't talk. This is also not our culture to oversell ourselves. This is very nice because I think Latvia provides what they promise plus an extra, but it doesn't really help in investments. Maybe to also work on our competencies and also to make them known in Latvia and outside, because only then people will know that there is something to invest in. And this applies to the government, because we use the information we just hear. We don't chase this information. The same is about foreign investors and about local investors. Talk more.
All right. You heard the examples, and you heard one of the things that we can be more involved. What is your reflection about that? What they were talking?
Yeah. So I mean, I think what I am observing, like in the European panorama, is that you need to sponsor those companies, and you need to have a good marketing campaign. Like I am seeing company, for example, I give you an example. My mom one day called me and she told me, there is this company that is doing amazing things because they appear in the television, and they are really doing amazing things, but there are a lot of other companies that are doing amazing things, and there are a lot of companies that started working in the space sector like a long time ago, and probably they are not very known, So this is something that is for the people around us to get everybody involved in the space sector, like in your country. But then to attract investor in other country, I think like from a governmental point of view, you need to sponsor this company in other country, build connection, like build agreement as the one we have right now. And for example, me myself, I didn't know anything about Latvia, and now we have this connection, and I am interacting with the company, and I am supporting them like in finding the right point of contact in the right company for them, because for example, they in the past tried to contact somebody, but then they didn't get a feedback or it didn't move forward. This way you build a strong connection so you can support them like getting the right funding that need cooperation, international cooperation. And then as soon as this company is known in another country or in your own country, then you of course attract investors. So that's
Thank you. You have been listening this for 1 hour. What do you think? Maybe is there some kind of questions from you guys about the themes that we're talking about space industry? Do we really need some kind of more investment in this situation? Maybe we just need funding for more transportation or other themes. What do you think? Do you have some questions?
May I ask a question to you?
Yeah.
Because it's not the format, but I always wonder why the moderators never get the question. You represent our success story, the Space Knowledge Center. Foreign companies come and say, like, why don't we have something like this? So this is something very valuable that Latvia has. But what's the next step?
And there could be the question, what is the role of an education system here? And the new talent in the development of the space industry, how we can encourage them, recruitment of specialists new to this space topic. Because when we were talking in building this innovation center, there was a research going around in 2029 that the kids love two things when they are in 6-year-olds. They love space and they love dinosaurs. And one of those things we can foster. We can give them examples more, because right now there are no dinosaurs. Okay, we can dig them up and see them, but right now we are seeing that the space is the new era for that. But this is what we are doing in Space Education Center. We try to show these companies, these industry giants, that they can be here on Earth. They are doing good job, and they can be part. The kids can be part of this big industry of space. But when we are talking about the kids, and when you're looking right now in the educational system, and you have been through this system, what is the main issues that we see right now, and what we can do more to be more students in university, more scientists in institutions, and more companies to be those inspiring great minds that who can be proud of, I'm from Latvia and I have a moon base on the moon right now. What do you suggest? Maybe Daini, how do you come to be in this field?
Actually, I'm not like generally from this field. I did my PhD in medical physics, and then I switched the field. And yeah, it was more like about technology. What I used in my research on medical physics. Now it's like used like in Earth observation. But yeah. Basically, if I'm looking at the education, I would say that there is no specific education for space. And there is no need for such specific education. Because space education is multidisciplinary, and it's a combination of different competencies, and often it's like very hard to just, for one person to know everything. It's like about collaboration between different disciplines. And every discipline could find some place somewhere, like even biologists, as we know from the movie Martian or something like this, that they can be rock stars of the space and so on. And yeah, I would say that if we look at the education, I think it's great what's now here in Cēsis with the center, because as you mentioned, like everything starts with the kids. And if they see there's this opportunity and still they see some kind of examples, and then when they're moving to the school, they also see examples from the space, then moving to university, studying their field. I don't know, it could be data science, chemical engineering, or other specialities and so on. They see some kind of connection with space. This is important because when they're choosing their professional path, it's good that they have these examples somewhere, and they have an opportunity to do it. And most often, when students decide like what specific specialization, it's related to their bachelor projects or master projects and so on, master thesis, because at that time they spend quite a lot of time like investigating like some kind of specific field and so on. It would be good that there are opportunities also to that more people doing something like this bachelor project, master project, PhD thesis on these topics, which push further and makes new kind of also specialists in this field. But what I was also very surprised once, we were in one conference in Bonn, and on our back from this conference, it was like larger Europe Earth observation conference. We thought that, oh, we have met like all Latvians over here, because these were we three and maybe two more and so on, not a lot of them. And then suddenly in the train, one guy approaching us and saying, "Hey, hi, are you going from this conference?" And we say, yeah. And he approached us like in Latvian. Actually, he was like one who is now working in one European company, working with it was like something related to edge processing, where you process data like on board, on satellites. They are providing such kind of technology. And he was working in this company. I never known him before and so on. It's just, he somehow found this. And I believe that there are much more of Latvians somewhere around in the Europe and so on. And it doesn't mean that space industry ends only with companies over here. It's also that it's good that our students have opportunity to go somewhere like to work in large companies in Europe and so on, because let's be honest, there will not be like Airbus in Latvia. It's too big company for Latvia, I would say. But we have chances to work in Airbus, such kind of large giants and so on, get this experience. For example, I know also colleagues from Estonia. They have worked in like DLR, which is like a German space agency, and they are experts in radars and so on. They have been like a lot of these students having internship over there, and then they moved back and established their company and so on. It's all about that we are in this network of opportunities, which is called European Union, where there is European Space Agency. We just need to use these all opportunities. If I look back, if we have used it like good, I would say no, because our main problem has been that we don't have this history with a lot of space kind of related activities. If, for example, if compared to Estonians, I would say Estonians has more, at least in Earth observation. What comes to Earth observation, we have like it's kind of relatively new background over here, and what we can also see that only now in different study programs these thematics have been approached, and I think that we need just time with all these activities. Also, when these kids who go through these centers grow up and choose what they want to do, and we will see that some of them will choose the space. I don't think that it should be that you specifically should push someone to the space. I think it should be someone who during the childhood thought that, oh, I like space, and then later they have opportunity to work in the space sector, and yeah, just creating opportunity for kids.
You were working in NASA in Jet Propulsion Laboratory. How did you get in that? What inspired you?
Yeah, so I can tell you, like, I was not supposed to be a space engineer, actually.
Okay.
So I was studying to do another kind of engineering. but because in the place like I was born, there was not this field of study. And then over the summer, I went to the beach and I met the daughter of a friend of my mom. You know, like I was used to go to the beach and look at the sky and look at the stars, and I was inspired by that. But for me, it was very far away. You know.
How old were you?
I was about making the decision to go to the university. So that was the time I met this girl, and I mean I met her in the beach. She told me about what she was doing, and I mean I look at her and I say, that's what I want to do actually. So I say, I'm sorry everybody, I'm going there, and that was the beginning of my path. So I started studying in Turin, and I did my bachelor there. It was like aerospace engineering, was generic, and then as soon as I got to my master, I specialized in the space sector. And then at that point, like, you know, you go abroad, you study English, and then there were a few programs I saw, like from the European Space Agency and then NASA Jet Propulsion Lab. From the European Space Agency, it was just an application. There are a lot of opportunity for students, and one of them is like the internship program that you can get when you are at the master level, or you can get the young graduate trainee program when you complete your master. Now they have another program for people that have 2 years of experience. It is the young professional program. So at this stage, I was a master student, and I was selected for this internship program. But at the same time, there was a professor that had a connection at the Jet Propulsion Lab, and if you were winning like a fellowship, and I won a fellowship, you had the opportunity, along with other people, to send your CV at JPL. So my CV was sent there, along with other CV, and then it was selected. So I started this experience in the space sector, starting at the European Space Agency and then going at NASA Jet Propulsion Lab. And then, I was called back to work as a researcher. Then I did a PhD in collaboration with them. So my path started like that. I think these are very good opportunities, like for students. But as we discussed today, like in Europe, there are also like funding this kind of fellowship that, of course, they can come from European Space Agency, they can come from JPL, but they can come also from the European Commission. So there are Marie Curie program for the PhD, and over this program you need to have some partners in different country, and they can be research center, university, industry. So you can have your students building like their project with the professor here in Latvia, and then moving in other country, and so experiencing also this new opportunity in other country, and then maybe coming back and starting working here, starting the company here, or going in the place where he went and having an opportunity over there. So these are good opportunity for the student. So yeah, that's.
Thank you. Ekaterina, why space industry? Why this company? Why we need that kind of materials? Why we need to go to the moon?
You mean why myself or why generally? Yeah, it's actually a long story, but to make it short, after university, I have a master degree from University of Latvia. I went to work in Slovakia. I'm as manager, and I have management and economic education, and I was working actually for Mandalis, who doesn't know this, who produce Milka chocolate for procurement part. I was manager of this. After I understood that this is not my country, and my dream was to live in Spain. I went to live to Spain in Mallorca, so beautiful place, and I was also their director, but of the hotel. It was also great experience. So I'm not changing areas, but I'm always manager. So, but my my work was like different sectors. And after COVID, I come back to Latvia, and I was thinking maybe to return back to Spain, or maybe to try something new. And once my professor, now is my professor at the university, at Riga Technical University. I also working now at Riga Technical University, and also do PhD in Riga Technical University. I went just for one seminar at Riga Technical University, and my professor, Victor Smironov, he said, "Oh, there is opportunity to work. Do you want to work?" I said, "Okay, it sounds interesting. Science always was also interesting for me. I was always studying hard, participating everywhere. So I said, okay, why not?" And I started to work at the university. And after he said, "Okay, I think it's good to do PhD," and I started to do PhD, and I started to work actually in science in many different projects. And in reality, I work also with different fields or at the university, but more as manager, but sometimes also as scientist. And yeah, and was slow. And we have Riga Technical University had cooperation for a platform with 2IM, and we started to work with them. And after they like how I work, and they invited me to work actually. So this how I came to space industry. It was I think my destiny, my space destiny, but I'm happy about this, and I really like this connection, because I see many things from perspective, from academic perspective, and also from business perspective, and I can connect these and have also more opportunities because of this, and this is great. I really love it, and this is amazing. And more you go, and the more you go to special conferences for space, I really like more and more, and see there is a lot of opportunity. So I want to be in this area.
Alexei, before Riga Technical University, you were working as a head of Ventspils International Radio Astronomy Center. How did you come to go there? What was the main reason to go there? And why you were so many years there?
As I told in the beginning, it was a crazy idea, crazy decision. To say frankly, it's an ambitious idea to lead such kind of infrastructure, the biggest antenna in Northern Europe. And as I told before, so I was looking something interesting, as also my colleagues told already. So if we want to come to space, we need to search leaders. We need to find those clever researchers, professors, or just people who are working in space. And if you want to develop yourself, you need to search those ideas. So if they have great ideas, so you can join and you can develop yourself. So my experience was the same. It was very, very challenging, very ambitious, and for past, let me say, for past period, we've done a lot. And now this infrastructure is used for dual purposes. So if we can say about success stories, antennas could be used also for not only for space science, space observations, but also we can use it for satellite communication, for deep space missions and so on. So this year, the centers signed the memorandum to participate, to be on the lunar missions. It's very important to support from this geolocation. Definitely heard about the Jupiter mission. So the satellite is flying to Jupiter. It will be, I guess, after 6-7 years on the Jupiter's orbit. And we can support from Irbane, from Ventspils, we can support with communication this mission. And well, of course we have other ambitious goals, but I started my journey from bachelor's studies, and I'm graduated in mechanical engineering, and I added some space there, aerospace. I studied from aerospace and spacecraft, and now I'm here.
I think the same question could be for you, Angelina.
I'll try to be very quick, but I told this story several times, but I don't have any space background. I studied business and languages, and actually I have masters in German philology. I knew I will never have a career with German philology, so that's why I would write all my thesis and everything about international cooperation, exports, these things. And then I applied for a traineeship at the European Commission. So there is a Blue Book traineeship open to all students, and you have high chances to get this traineeship if you're from Latvia and you have masters. So I applied for Directorate General. It's kind of a ministry of the European Commission dealing with the internal market, everything about exports, economy, and everything. And then I received an email saying, would you like to have a traineeship with our space unit? It's the Earth Observation Unit specifically. And then I thought it's a joke or a mistake, because back then, I had not even a zero knowledge of space. I had embarrassing level of knowledge of space. It's like it was minus. I only knew that I'm Aquarius by horoscope sign, okay? And I thought like it might be a mistake. Then I thought, well, it's not my mistake, right? So yeah, I would like to have this internship. So I went to the European Commission. It wasn't a mistake. And then I had a quest to find out why me. Then I thought like maybe they need the Russian language skills, because back then we cooperated with Russia, and then I was waiting for them to ask me to translate something. Then I asked finally impatiently, like, well, so when will you use my languages? They said, everyone speaks English, we don't need your Russian. I'm like, okay, huge mystery. And only maybe 2 years ago I found out. I had a mentor, a very eccentric Italian woman, very nice. And I asked her, Oriana, why me? And she's like, sometimes I like breaking the system. Like, thank you very much to break the system, because I found the purpose in my life. I'm very grateful. And then I was always the person to always wanting to live abroad and everything, because, well, many people are so. And then I got an offer from the Ministry of Economics to work there. And I thought, okay, I'll go back to Latvia for maybe half a year. I will have a nice entry in my CV. I'll go back to Brussels or somewhere else. And then I actually liked it here. The work environment was much healthier. Then I told you already, I would every month find out crazy things about Latvians do in space. So I'm right now for the maybe 8th year in space. I participate in many conferences, and I still sit there and I think like, this is crazy what the world is doing in space. We talk about Mars missions as a normal thing. There is like not a dream. There is budget. There are people working on this. So I think what you do, Alexeis, in space, you do in space, you, and you, this is just crazy, but you do it. So that's why I'm positive about everything, because I'm already, you're flying into space. Okay, we have people that are going to be part of the International Space Station flying around the moon. And this is a reality. It is possible. If you asked me 10 years ago like about space, I would make fun of that all, but this is possible. That's why I think we can continue, we can do more. The only thing about also students, how we should attract students to STEM. If you remember when there was IT boom, everyone knew that you can earn good money if you're an IT specialist and if you're a lawyer. People look for opportunity, they study to actually have a good life. We need to commercialize our deep tech companies to make it an attractive option to students. We need to commercialize. You've noticed that we love the European Space Agency, but the European Space Agency is an opportunity to commercialize, to really start not only to receive money for your research and development, but to commercialize. And these are the opportunities that Antonetta is talking about. When we use these opportunities, you grow, and then you have a very attractive industry that pays high salaries, and then, of course, you will have many, many STEM students being ready to earn even more. So here, I really hope that we will start commercialize our deep tech even more, and the government will have support, that the government will hold the promises that we made to the European Space Agency, European community, to businesses and people, to really provide that we promise.
Can I add something to this topic? What I have to really announce today, actually I already announced at the Deep Tech Atelier, but it was a little bit close communities. Here is more official, but it's still not so official. But when I was at Luxembourg Space Resource Week, like 2 months ago, we were sitting, we had lunch, and there was one guy come and said, you're doing this and this. We said, yes. But he said, you're from Latvia? We said, yes. And another colleagues said, we're from Luxembourg. He said, no, I'm interested in Latvia. I said, okay, yes, we are here. We were just us there, so from Latvia. And he said, you know what? We are building a great alliance for Baltic countries, and probably Scandinavia also joined, but this is still a question. And probably it's not even the name of this is not final, but it probably is the beginning idea was to call it Baltic Moon, or now they're thinking to call it Aurora Alliance, but still creating and developing this idea, but this idea about to create alliance of all these countries to have possibility to connect to the companies in the space industry from the universities for different programs from different budgets. And we are happy to be first as 2IM. Also, we actually spoke with the rector of Riga Technical University. He also said that we can join as a university, and this is also will open us new opportunities for as a company, as Latvia, and like Latvia also will be more visible for other countries. So this is really great. There is like building from Germany initiative. So, and I spoke with these guys, Frank, he said everything is ongoing. I spoke just yesterday to be sure that everything is going on to announce it here. And he said yes, and thank you for promoting, they're very appreciate. So we hope soon we will have this, and we can already say like super officially about it. So.
Well, what I could say, what is the last sentence that you can want to give the people who is on the camera other side, also the people here sitting through this discussion about space industry and future Latvia's future in it? Maybe we can start with Antoniete.
Yeah, so I think the space economy, the space sector is changing a lot, is evolving a lot. We have now, we are talking a lot about the commercialization of space, as I mentioned before, like all the technology, so a lot of technology we are using today, they come from something that was developed from space. So I think it's really important, like, to strengthen this sector in Latvia and to move forward, like starting from the young generation, and then with the university, and then we program for commercialization, and then supporting company, and then this is the path, like, to get.
Okay, thank you, Alexei.
We have 3 minutes. We'll be fast. So Antoinette already said, but I want to add that in business, the main resource is energy. So I think that we should work on that, because we could have time, we could have money, but no energy. We couldn't implement ambitious, crazy ideas. And another thing, what I've got a few days ago. So if you're working with experienced staff, with experienced researchers, so you couldn't implement crazy ideas. Why? Because they are using their own experience. They're saying it is impossible. So if you will work with young people, you can implement really crazy ideas till success. So this is my by the way, we have
2 cents.
three questions.
I'm trying to read that from that perspective. Maybe if some of you guys can see the question, one of you can answer in that question.
The first one, yeah, maybe.
You can read, no?
The first one is about guys who are going for studies abroad, how we can return, what the plan for the future to return those back to Latvia.
I have returned.
You are example for that. Thank you.
Angelina too.
Too, and now the government works a lot with diaspora. It's not only in space, but in general, we know we have educated, talented Latvians, and right now there is like a very good friendly communication going on in between. People will come back when there will be opportunities here. Either we create opportunities or we inform them how they could use Latvia as a platform for opportunities. It's not that bad.
Yeah, I also would say that if you are talking about space industry and so on, it's like quite complex, and sometimes there is no such kind of opportunity over here just to, I don't know, work in large such company or with specific technology. I think it's not bad that those people are working in somewhere abroad, because we should think much bigger when we are thinking about Latvia, not only about Latvia here geographically and so on. It's we are in this like common European market and so on, and also in this both like technology market, job market and so on. I think it's okay that Latvians are working in like institutions in Europe, in European companies and so on. I think that it's only good that they're becoming like more examples how you can move around, and I think it's the best thing of being here in European Union. And also in our institution there have been and there are people from other countries, and I think it's also very good that there is exchange of experience of people around, and I think it's not bad. When there will come time for them to return, they will return, and it's even like good. It's okay if they will stay somewhere abroad.
Thank you. We had a great discussion. We had great ideas how to get fundings, and we will see the moon landing will be the next big thing when we will see astronauts on the moon. Thank you for discussion.
Yeah, thank you so much.